Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Yo on the Go. Today we'll be talking about a game that I've been playing for the past couple weeks called Slither.io. Now Slither.io, much like the game of snakes, is a game in which you go and you eat what is called mass. You're this little snake that runs around, or a little worm that runs around and eats mass. And as you eat mass, you start getting larger and larger, longer and longer. And you're in a competitive environment with about 500 other players all trying to consume mass. Now the interesting part is that if your head hits another player's body, tail, what have you, you die and you turn into mass. And then everyone else then rushes in to consume your mass to get bigger. Now this is a very interesting game because it is highly competitive. You're fighting with 500 people and you have a very singular objective to grow and grow and grow. Now the end of every game is exactly the same, is that you either make a mistake or somebody else colludes with others or colludes with you accidentally to cause you to die. And once you die, your mass is then released for everybody else. And then it's really fun because once you get one of these, people then dive in to go after your mass, and then they accidentally hit each other, they make more mistakes. And so you get this feeding frenzy in which more and more worms start dying on top of each other. And the last one who is able to survive becomes this extremely large worm that it can encircle, quite a few worms and eat them up. Now, it's actually interesting as I'm playing the game because I'm asking myself, this is a really fun game. I mean, it mirrors, the climbing to the top or whatever, what have you, in terms of the sharks of the corporate world. But it also mirrors, it actually brings about a great question. Yeah, this is really fun. The end is always dying. But the other thing is, what's the premise? Why am I consuming mass? There are other parts of the game when you can go off and eat other people's leftover mass. So when you accelerate, when you move very fast, you dump mass, you actually get smaller, and that mass is then left in the environment to be eaten up. So there are people who are scavengers who choose not to fight and go around slowly consuming the mass of others, leftover bits. That's really interesting, but that also is kind of a strange existence because you're always on the outer reaches of these of the map, trying to collect and scrape by with what you have. I think that really is a picture of what life is if you are in this dystopian future or present, so to speak, if you ascribe to the rules of that game and follow it. I think it's actually really interesting to think through because the world is so much richer. The world is so much better than the constructs that we've been given. And we need to know who we really are. And there was a book that I got in 8th grade called Hope for the Flowers. And it centers upon this caterpillar who has this desire to grow, to go above, go higher. And the only way they know how to do it, and all the other caterpillars, is to climb on top of each other to get to the top. When he gets to the top, he realizes there's nothing there. There's just all of these other caterpillars with their mounds in far reaches, everywhere, just with piles even higher than they have. And he gets very dejected and loses faith and curls up and gets trodden by everybody else who's trying to get to the top. They won't believe him when he said there's nothing there. And when he comes out, he then realizes that desire to rise, to grow, to get higher is not a bad desire. It's just misplaced. It's been put in a different context because of the world saying this is how you get to the top. But actually, there's a real way, there's a narrow way that we all don't know about. And I challenge you to think about, what is that real way? How can I become more of who I really am? That's not performance-based, that's not capabilities-based, but it is identity-based. What is your identity? So I hope I've given you food for thought. I hope you consume it, but not to grow too big and not use it all up, but share it with others. So I hope this was useful to you. Until next time, bye.